Hey everybody, I've been thinking of some shit lately. Seeing how Steam, or Valve specifically, is going to be supporting the DualShock 4 PS4 controller fairly soon with the Steam controller API. I find that funny with some of the misinformation I've noticed with it. Honestly, the guy over at Xpatter and the guys at Input Mapper. I find it funny because I had asked the guy at Xpatter what he plans on doing because Valve is going to be supporting more controllers soon. They said something along the lines of, I won't have to worry, the Steam controller API isn't that great or something. I'll copy and paste that later. Probably not in the actual video. I'll probably take a screenshot of what the conversation, upload that to Imager, have that in the description. But besides that, asked him, he's not worried, just was wondering why, because you could technically use the Steam controller in any game whatsoever and have that work in any game, any program, which I'll get to in a bit. I then asked I watched a video from the guys over at Input Mapper in which it's just misinformation out the ass. It's amazingly bad, in my opinion. Go ahead and watch it. I'll put a link in the description for both videos. And just tell me what you think. Tell me if I'm a complete dumbass and if I have all of this shit wrong. But he just seemed completely misinformed, I think, because from what his understanding is in order to use the Steam controller, you have to play a game on Steam. Period. I assume that's the same thing the Xpatter guy had gotten. And this is completely wrong. It's completely wrong because to use the Steam controller, and by extension the support for the PlayStation 4 controller, DualShock 4, soon, in order to do that, yes, you will need Steam, and that would be completely free. Keep that in mind. Completely free. Okay, install it, download the software. Okay, I have everything set up. I have no games on Steam. How do I use the Steam controller, or by extension soon, the DualShock 4 controller? Well, go to Library. In your library, obviously there'll be no games. Scroll all the way down. There'll be a plus add game to add game ... or add game to Steam, and just add non-Steam game. Period. That's all you need to do. I had done this, I had set this up, or tried to, with GoldenEye Source, version 5.0. Not entirely sure if they've updated. You guys can go ahead and check. fun game, but besides that, I was able to set up a non-Steam game with the controller. Be it that specific game did not support the Steam overlay, so I was unable to use the touch menus and all the touch stuff that will show up on screen, but the very fact I was able to use a non-Steam game with the controller, I find is hilarious, because say I have, I don't know, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Siege, Vegas, Vegas 2, any of those, bought through Uplay and not Steam. All of those games will work flawlessly with the controller. Just add non-Steam game and it'll work. How well it'll work, I can't really say, because I haven't played those games in quite a while. I'm not entirely sure the controller or keyboard supports, because I haven't played them in a while. But yeah, you can add any game, any program to the software and it'll work. If it'll have the overlay, no idea, but it will work, and that's the funny thing. So their ideas of for some reason it just not working, completely false. Just that right there, wrong. But apparently, from what I gather with the Steam Dev Days stuff, which I'll have a link in the description, if you go through and set up the DualShock 4 with the Steam support stuff, apparently you'll be able to use the touchpad, both sides of it, and remap everything. Okay, from my experience with Pinnacle Game Profiler, which is shit, do not buy it, and also X360 CE. X360 CE being free, which you can download, you can set up your controllers, it's nice. Does it support the DualShock 4? I have no idea. You'll have to do it yourself. But I set up my PlayStation 1 controller with it after just a painful experience. Extraordinarily painful. I set up a few controllers with it. A flight stick. I believe at one point I tried doing a Guitar Hero controller. The current support for most controllers, just editing configurations, just pure, I want this to do this. The interfaces are shit, and the support is shit from what I've tried. Forever ago, with Pinnacle Game Profiling, I begged them. I made multiple videos begging them for help. I got threats. It seemed they just, it didn't seem professional, to say the least. But besides that, using the overlay for the Steam controller, if I can bring it up, this overlay, scroll down, controller configuration. This is simple, to the point, and extraordinarily easy to use. Say I want something on the X button, boom, highlight right there. Okay, game supports it. I don't want to use the game support. I want to switch to the normal controls. There it is. From my experience with X360 CE and Pinnacle Game Profiler, the interface, absolute shit, in my opinion. You might disagree. I don't care. That's my opinion. But being able to just set up, say, a flight stick with the same interface as the Steam controller has right now, in my opinion, would be fucking amazing. Being able to set up the axes, for example, for a flight stick within that overlay would be extraordinarily simple. It would make it so instead of, oh, I have to spend X amount of dollars, I have to spend X amount of money on this software in order to just be able to use a controller I have bought. Because I have a N64 controller through USB. It has a USB part on the end, so it only works on the computer. I have a flight stick somewhere around here. Yeah, I have a flight stick. N64 controller. I have yet to try setting up because, dear God, setting that shit up with the current software I have access to is a pain in the ass. I do not even want to think of how long that would take. I've tried setting up the flight stick, the Logitech Extreme something flight stick. It's like 40 bucks. I got it for like 10 bucks at thrift store. I've tried setting that up with X360 CE, and dear fucking God, just holy shit. It makes me want to smash the thing into little bits. That's what it wants. That's what makes me want to do. Because, okay, I want to set this axis as this. Okay, this will take 20, 30, 40, etc. minutes of configuration. It is insanely annoying using the current configuration tools. Just any configuration tools with setting up a controller. Sure, Pinnacle Game Profiler, some people might say, oh yeah, it's a godsend. Great tool to set things up. Except whenever it's shit. Except whenever the software itself acts like shit. And what I mean by that is, okay, I want to set up the controller like this. Okay, everything is set up perfectly fine in the menus, in the configurator, everything. Go boot up a game, and it doesn't work. Asking the people that run the software, they say it's supposed to work, I say it doesn't, I get yelled at and called a piece of shit. So, software, obviously, is an issue. But, say, general flight sticks, adding support for those in the Steam controller list of supported devices, their API, being able to do that, and then say, okay, I have a flight stick here, it has X amount of buttons. It looks like, think of what you can do with XPad or Pinnacle Game Profile. It looks like this, and just uploading your own picture. Well, there you go. You now have full Steam controller support, full image guides support, full button control support, all within the software, in which, with the misinformation going on, people seem to think, oh, this won't work with games outside Steam, when in reality, it works with everything. So I find that honestly hilarious. Actually, another funny thing. I've actually tried to, I don't know if this is specific to me or what, but I've tried setting up my Logitech F310 controller and the Steam controller somehow with Rocket League, and it just doesn't work. If I try playing Rocket League with the Steam controller and the gamepad, the F310 gamepad, it will not work. For whatever reason, the gamepad decides, I'm going to use the same inputs as the Steam controller, and they both control the same exact thing on both screens. Split screen, top and bottom, left to right, whichever. So, say that gets support. If general X input devices get support, well, there you fucking go. Every single controller getting support, be it, it's not a quick process by any means. It'd probably take another year or two. But if that was set up, say with a flight stick, select your buttons, how many you have, there you go. Or have it read directly from your device manager. This is this device. It'll look for a picture online of what that is. It'll automatically set it. There you go. Given the pictures will probably need to be user generated, and you will probably need quite a bit of people to do this. Not bad, I think, considering how many hundreds of thousand configurations there are. Considering this is for Counter-Strike. All of those. And the next page. And the next page. Yeah, all of these. All for Counter-Strike. So, honestly, I don't really see a downside to the upcoming support with specifically the PlayStation 4 controller. The only thing I can really tell that worries me a bit is, okay, I want to have this DRM-free version of the game. Okay, I have this DRM-free version of the game, and I also have this Steam version. I would assume, if the developer is smart, okay, I'll add support to the Steam controller in the Steam version and in the non-Steam version. That way, if it detects, okay, it's added as a non-Steam game, it will use the Steam controller API. Given in the talks on the Steam Dev Days page that I read through, they want to completely, well, this is what I got from it, could be completely wrong, they want to completely eliminate the need to have a controller configurator in the game at all. I mean, yes, this could be completely wrong, and I could just be paranoid as shit, but that is worrisome, in my opinion. If someone were to just release it on Steam, I would assume they would need more market share with the Steam controller, but I assume that wouldn't happen. They would just slot in the API. Hey, they're using the Steam controller, use these images. Hey, they're using the PS4 controller, use these images. And so on and so forth. If you understand what I mean. I'm fairly sure I'm explaining shit clearly. But I don't really see anything besides that being wrong. Only issue with the controller I've had is stuff not properly saving. Like, I'll set up stuff for, no, not saving, not properly showing. Like, for example, I'll set up GoldenEye Source, which I haven't in a while. It uses the Source 2000, I think it's either 13 or 7 base for the game, and because it uses that, it does not support the Steam Big Picture overlay. So, okay, I want to set up touch menus for this. Does not work. Period. Specifically for that game. Okay, that's great. So what if X game isn't on Steam, I add it, and I can't use the big picture overlay anyway? Well, in that case, if it's not on Steam, and also does not support the overlay, your best bet is just message the developer and be like, hey, this doesn't work with my controller. I'm trying to add it as a non-Steam game on Steam. Can you help me? And just talk directly with the developers. Or you can put in a support ticket with Steam, which good luck with that. Last I heard, Steam support is absolute shit. I haven't had to deal with Steam support. I've just been going through the automated process of refunds. So glad those are there, by the way. But besides that, it's an interesting thing that they're setting up. Having, well, technically, native support for the PlayStation 4 controller through Steam for PC. Interesting to say the least, I think, because, yeah, they listed support for the PS4 controller right now is not that great. I have to agree with them, in all honesty. There's DS4 Windows or something like that. I'll get the link, I'll put it in the description. Is that? There's Input Mapper, which they are heavily misinformed. There's not much else as far as I know. I could be completely wrong though. But yeah, more support for more controllers through the Steam API, I think would be fucking amazing. I forgot the original thing I wanted to talk about. Fuck it. Oh well. That's about it. I think I'm gonna go ahead. Let this round finish. Hop off. You guys have a good one. I'll see you later.